Well, here we are, the First Lady of the media. It's always lovely to talk to her. Peter, just following up, thank you for... Oh, gee, we've both got a bit of colour.
I know, I thought I would outdo you in fuchsia, but you've just upped me with a bit of leopard on the tie anyway. Goodness me.
Now, listen, you've worked for a Prime Minister in this complicated world of international diplomacy. Chinese expansionism seems to be everywhere. Should we be actively promoting an informal NATO in this region? I mean, we've got this Quad... Japan, 4 countries, Japan, India, Australia and the United States, first mooted by Abe in 2007 and then given shape in 2017, to develop a strategy to keep the sea routes in the Indo-Pacific free of any influence. Has there been talk, do you think, in the circles that you mix in, of activating something like a regional security network that can act as some kind of opposition to China?
I think the Quad is a very good vehicle, and I think that the more that Australia can do with Japan and India, and look, it was all credit to the PM going to India, breaking his overseas travel ban, and going there and going into quarantine as he did, to send a very clear signal to the new Prime Minister in Japan that we mean business, that we are a friend, that we stand with them. Big message there to Beijing, that we stand with them against China. I don't think we do enough with India. I mean, all credit that we've got Barry O'Farrell there. He has very deep links with India. But Tony Abbott had a great relationship with Modi, and Tony Abbott's helping the Brits get their trade deals over the line. He's not being paid, of course, but he's willing to help out because he believes that more Western countries doing better, particularly out of the EU, is a good thing. Why on earth aren't they using him on India? I think it's a no-brainer, and I think it's an incredibly important bulwark against China. But just listening, that was a very sober assessment from Greg Sheridan. He's one of the best in the business, all the way across our region, particularly PNG. Again, Tony Abbott went to PNG 3 times in his first 2 years. I don't think we send enough ministers to PNG. I know they take the relationship seriously in Canberra. I know they do. But we've got to send some signals, because to have these Chinese installations on our doorstep, incredibly dangerous. But you hear all of that. If you're sitting at home tonight, Alan, you've got to wonder why on earth we're so determined to impoverish ourselves when we've got these security challenges, we've got economic challenges, when we want to have, money in our pocket to build decent submarines, not the rubbish we've got coming forward. Why on earth are we shutting down manufacturing, shutting down our energy, making life more expensive here in Australia? For what? For what? 4 or 5 people in the UN in Geneva who are trying to tell us how to run our country, that they've got more weight there than Australians. I don't get it.
Well, you've got this business today. You're talking about impoverishing us. I mean, this whole business about zero carbon dioxide emissions and demonised coal-fired power, which was the source of our competitive advantage. We've got laws which say we can't use our own uranium. So I mean, we can't have national strength of any kind without economic strength. And if we
need it more than ever.
Yeah.
This is the greatest challenge we've had since the Second World War. And China has might, and China has money, and China has a very militarised population. And they also operate outside any sort of parameter we tend to understand culturally. Now, why on earth would we send ourselves out the back door economically at a time like this? Why would we make ourselves weaker, not stronger? Well, I don't get it.
Well, we've got to maintain the momentum there. Something's got to give. Just a quick one before you go. Locally, Michael O'Brien, the Leader of the Opposition, most people around Australia wouldn't know who he was, but he's the Leader of the Opposition in Victoria. There's talk now amongst the rank and file that he will not be the leader at the November 2022 election, but they won't be taking him on this year. What's your intelligence on this?
I think there's active discussions about the O'Brien question. There's 2 camps. There's a camp that's with him and there's a camp that's against him. And there's a lot of concerned people in both camps about whether they are at all competitive going into the next election. You couldn't credit in any other state a leader killing 800 of their own, as we saw with the Victorian government, surviving. And not just surviving but flourishing. But that's the position where Daniel Andrews is in tonight. I mean, if there was an election in Victoria, I hate to say this, but he would win, and he'd win comfortably.
Win easily. Let me tell you
he would win comfortably.
Win comfortably. I'll make one point. I know someone who'd clean him out in an election, a woman, very able woman, I think her name's Credlin, and she would
come
be
on.
she would be the.
I'm busy with you every Tuesday night. Come on. I've got to keep you on your toes.
Good on you. See you next week, eh? Thanks, Peter. All the best. There she is.
Bye-bye.
Peta Credlin. We love her, don't we?